It was a chilly Tuesday afternoon in the small town of Brookhaven. The streets were unusually quiet, the kind of quiet that makes even the ticking of a clock sound like a drumbeat in your ears. Officer Daniel Hayes was on his routine patrol, his black and white cruiser rolling slowly past rows of weathered houses. Beside him, sitting proudly in the passenger seat, was his partner Rex, a massive German shepherd with sharp eyes that missed nothing. Daniel had been working with Rex for almost 5 years now. They were more than just partners. They were inseparable friends. The townsfolk often said the two had the same energy, alert.com, but ready to spring into action at a moment's notice. Daniel trusted Rex with his life, and Rex, in turn, seemed to trust Daniel more than anyone else in the world. The day had been uneventful so far, just a couple of traffic stops, a report of a stray dog, and a call about a missing bicycle. Nothing serious. But as Daniel turned down Oak Street, something caught his eye. A little girl no older than 8 stood on the sidewalk, her thin arms hugging herself against the cold. She wasn't playing or talking to anyone. She wasn't even moving. She was just standing there, her wide brown eyes fixed on Daniel's car as if she'd been waiting for him. Daniel slowed the cruiser and rolled down the window. "Hey there," he called gently. "You okay? Where's your mom or dad?" Girl didn't answer right away. She glanced at Rex, her lips trembling as if she was fighting the urge to cry. Then, in a small, shaky voice, she said, "Mister, you and your dog. You have to follow me, please. It's important." Daniel frowned. It wasn't every day a child approached him like this, especially with such urgency. He got out of the car, Rex instantly alert by his side. "All right," Daniel said softly, crouching to her level. "What's your name, Lily?" she whispered. "Please, there's no time." Daniel exchanged a look with Rex. Not that. Rex could talk. But somehow, that single glance felt like a shared question. "What's going on here?" "Okay, Lily," Daniel said. "Why don't you tell me where we're going?" Her voice shook. "I can't tell you. You just have to see. And hurry, before it's too late." They followed her. She led them off the main street, down a narrow alley, then across an empty lot overgrown with weeds. Rex walked close, his ears perked, tail stiff. He could sense something was wrong. Lily kept glancing over her shoulder, urging them to move. Faster. After about 10 minutes, they reached the edge of an old industrial area, a row of abandoned warehouses, their broken windows like jagged teeth. Daniel felt the hairs on the back of his neck stand up. This wasn't a place any child should be wandering around. "Lily, wait," he called. "What are we doing here? Is someone hurt?" She stopped suddenly, her small hands curling into fists. She looked up at him with eyes full of fear. "My brother," she said. "They took him. He's inside." Daniel's pulse quickened. "Who took him?" "I don't know their names," Lily said, her voice breaking. But they were big and scary, and they had knives. Daniel's training kicked in instantly. He tapped his radio and called for backup, giving them the location, but something in Lily's panicked face told him they didn't have time to wait. "Stay behind me," he told her. "Rex, heel." Rex moved forward with laser focus, every muscle tense. His deep growl rumbled like distant thunder. They approached the warehouse, Daniel's hand resting on his holstered weapon. The metal door creaked when Daniel pushed it. Open. Inside, the air smelled of rust and damp wood. Dim light filtered through holes in the roof, casting eerie beams across stacks of old crates. Somewhere in the darkness, a muffled sound, a child's whimper. "Rex, find him, Daniel," whispered Rex, lowered his nose to the ground, sniffing rapidly. Then, without hesitation, he darted toward the far end of the warehouse, his nails clicking against the concrete. Daniel followed quickly, Lily clutching the back of his jacket. They turned a corner and froze. 2 men stood there, both tall and broad, their faces half hidden by masks. One of them held a boy, maybe 6 years old, by the collar, while the other rummaged through a backpack on the floor. The moment they saw Daniel, one of the men swore and reached for something shiny at his belt. But Rex was faster. With a powerful leap, the German shepherd lunged, knocking the man's weapon hand aside and pinning him to the ground. The other man bolted toward the exit, but Daniel was already moving. He tackled the runner, cuffing him with swift precision. Lily ran to her brother, tears streaming down her face. "Sam, are you okay?" The boy nodded weakly, burying his face in her coat. Within minutes, the sound of sirens filled the air. Back up. Officers swarmed the warehouse, taking the suspects into custody. Daniel knelt down, resting a hand on Rex's head. "Good boy," he whispered. Rex's tongue lolled out in a brief doggy grin, but his eyes stayed sharp, watching everyone around them. But just as Daniel was about to lead the kids out, Lily tugged on his sleeve again. "It's not over," she whispered. Daniel blinked. "What do you mean?" "They weren't the only ones," she said. "There's more, and they know where we live." Daniel's hand instinctively tightened on his holster. More. He scanned the warehouse, his police instincts screaming that the danger wasn't over. "Lily, what do you mean more?" he asked carefully. She swallowed hard, glancing at her younger brother, who clung to her like a shadow. "They were talking," she said in a trembling voice. "They said they had to take Sam to a safe house. But then one of them said the boss would be mad if they didn't bring all of us." "All of you?" Daniel echoed. "Who else is at home?" "Us!" Lily's eyes dropped to the floor. "Mom." Daniel's chest tightened. He'd seen too many cases where gangs threatened family members to keep people quiet. They knew where Lily lived. Her mother could be in immediate danger. He looked over at Rex. The German Shepherd was still sitting alert, ears twitching, eyes locked on the darkened corners of the warehouse. He seemed to sense the urgency. Daniel tapped his radio. "Dispatch, Officer Hayes. The suspects are in custody, but there may be additional threats to a civilian residence. I need a unit at 142 Maple Drive immediately." Daniel ushered Lily and Sam into his cruiser, Rex jumping in beside them. The drive was tense. The only sounds were the hum of the engine and Rex's steady breathing. "Lily," Daniel said as gently as he could while keeping his eyes on the road, "I need you to tell me everything you heard." Her voice was so soft it was almost lost in the noise of the car. They said the boss would make her talk, I think. I think they want to hurt Mom because she saw something." "What did she see?" "I don't know," Lily whispered. "But Mom works at the old diner. A few days ago. She told me to stay away from a group of men who came in. She looked really scared." When they turned onto Maple Drive, Daniel's guts sank. The front door of Lily's house was wide open. One of the windows was shattered. Daniel slammed the car into park. "Stay here. Lock the doors," he told the kids firmly. Rex was already halfway out the door before Daniel could even give the command. The air inside was thick with the smell of overturned furniture and something metallic blood. Daniel's hand hovered over his weapon, eyes scanning every shadow. A muffled cry came from the kitchen. He moved silently toward the sound, Rex padding beside him. When they rounded the corner, Daniel froze. A man in a black jacket was holding a woman, Lily's mother, by the arm, a knife glinting in his hand. Her face was pale, but her eyes widened with desperate hope when she saw Daniel. The man snarled, tightening his grip. "Don't come closer, cop. This doesn't concern." "You'll let her go," Daniel said evenly. "It's over." But before the man could respond, Rex lunged, his training kicking in like lightning. The German Shepherd slammed into the attacker, knocking him backward. The knife clattered to the floor. Daniel moved in, pinning the man's arms and snapping cuffs onto his wrists. As he read the man his rights, Daniel noticed something in his jacket pocket, a folded piece of paper. He pulled it out and unfolded it. It was a list of names. Lily's name, Sam's name, their mother's name, and Daniel's. His blood ran cold. "Where did you get this?" he demanded. The man smirked. "You think this ends with me? You've got no idea who you're dealing with." Daniel knew he had to get Lily's family into protective custody fast. But as he escorted them outside, a black SUV screeched around the corner, its tinted windows rolling down. Gunfire erupted. Daniel shoved the kids behind his cruiser, Rex barking furiously. Bullets pinged off the vehicle's frame. He radioed for immediate armed backup. turning fire when the SUV tried to advance. Then in a move that shocked even Daniel, Rex broke from cover, charging straight toward the SUV. "Rex, no." Daniel yelled, but it was too late. Rex's sudden attack startled the driver, who swerved violently, losing control. The SUV slammed into a street lamp with a sickening crunch. Backup arrived within minutes. "Ass!" Swarming the scene and pulling two more suspects from the wrecked vehicle. One of them Daniel recognized instantly from a most wanted bulletin. Victor Kane, a local crime boss suspected of running half the illegal operations in the county. "Looks like your little plan didn't work out, Kane," Daniel said, hauling him to his feet. Kane's cold eyes shifted to Lily, who was peeking from behind Daniel. "This isn't over," he said, his voice low and threatening. Rex growled so deeply that even Kane seemed to take a step back. With Kane and his men in custody, the immediate danger was over. But Daniel knew the legal battle ahead would be long and dangerous. Lily's family was placed under Pollock. Protection and arrangements were made for them to testify. That night, Daniel sat in his small apartment, Rex lying at his feet. He thought about how differently the day could have gone if Lily hadn't found him, if Rex hadn't been there. Reached down, scratching behind Rex's ears. "We did good today, buddy." Rex thumped his tail once, as if to say, "Of course we did." A week later, Daniel received a letter, no return address. Inside was a single photograph taken from somewhere across the street from his apartment. On the back, scrawled in messy handwriting, were the words, "You saved them this time. But next time, you won't even see us coming." Daniel looked at Rex, who was already staring at the door, ears alert, whatever was coming.